Guys, it is Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing, and I am here for a monthly recommendations video. And monthly recommendations is a Goodreads group created by Trina over Between Chapters and Kayla at Kayla Rain, and every month we have a different topic to discuss, and it's so much fun, and I will leave all the links below. So this month's topic was Not Another Love Story, which is basically books that aren't focused around a romantic relationship. And at first when I was thinking about this, I thought, oh my god, this is going to be so hard. I don't really know what books don't have relationships like in the centre of it, or don't have a particularly powerful relationship within the outskirts of it. And then I went and I looked at my Goodreads group and I started thinking about all the books on that on my read list, and I did discover a few books. I actually ended up having to narrow down my list so I didn't talk about too many books, but I did find books that I wanted to talk about for this topic. So I'll just get straight into it. The first book I have here is Room by Emma Donoghue. This is a book that has been talked about a lot recently because the movie has come out and it's also been Oscar nominated. It's just an absolutely fantastic book. It is told all through the eyes of a little boy, and he's only 5 years old, called Jack, and basically we've no idea what's going on in this book because Jack has never known the outside world. He's only ever known this kind of small room that he's grown up in. He thinks this room is the whole world. We don't know why he's in this room. We don't know why he doesn't know about the outside world, about our world, and it just slowly comes to light. This book is it's just so different because everything is being told by a 5-year-old, and so many things like make sense and at times they don't make sense, but like he makes all these observations that are so clever that you wouldn't think, that an adult I don't think would think about. But I think it was just such a powerful book. It's just a book I think everyone should give a chance to because it's so unique. And again, the movie's absolutely excellent as well, so I'd suggest people to read the book and watch the movie because it's really good. The next book I have here is Marley Me by Grogan. If anyone has ever had a dog or has, had a bond with a dog, this is a book you need to read. It is absolutely fantastic. It is a memoir about a man and his dog and how the dog grew up with them, was with him through all these different points of his adult life, getting a job, getting married, having children growing up, and how this dog was there this whole time. He does absolutely crazy things you wouldn't even believe, and it just shows how a dog can become part of a family, how a dog becomes a family member. It's just really good. It's one of those books that will make you cry, but it'll make you cry with laughter as well because there are so much funny bits, especially if you have owned a dog and if you know all the crazy things dogs can do. This will just remind you of all the different things your dog has done that will make you laugh as well. So I absolutely love this book. I haven't read it in quite a while, and now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, I really need to read this again. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Help by Kathryn Stockett. This is a book centred around, I think it's around the south of America, and it is when a lot of the white households had black maids, and it's about a girl who gets talking to these maids. She becomes friends with them, and she's a journalist, and she ends up wanting to write their stories and all these kind of inside stories about all the white people they've worked with, some whom have treated them terribly, and it's kind of getting their story out there, what they have to put up with. And it's in the middle of kind of the civil rights movement, and all sorts of stuff is going on, and it's just an absolutely fantastic book. I really enjoyed the book. Personally for me, I think I enjoyed the movie more than the book in this case, but I think it's just because I watched the movie first and it's just one of my favourite movies. I absolutely adore it, but I do really like the book as well. It's just one of those books that just make you laugh and it makes you angry, and it just makes you really want to do something. It doesn't make you want to sit around and do nothing for your life. It makes you want to stand up for something and stand up for people, and yeah. Another book that is not really around a love story is The Tournament by Reilly. This is a historical fictional novel, and it is about Queen Elizabeth I of England, and it's about when she's quite young. She's only about 12 or 13 years old, and she ends up going on this journey to I think it's the Middle East, with her mentor, or her chess master, this guy anyway, and he brings her to this place where there's this kind of like huge chess tournament happening, and she just ends up getting involved in a murder mystery over there, and she has to help try and solve these murders that are happening. And it's just really unique, and it's really good because this isn't a normal girl. This is, a princess who's about to become, who we know becomes Queen Elizabeth, who becomes such a huge monarch, one of the most powerful monarchs in English history. And it's just great kind of seeing all these different kind of personality traits that the author used, that, you know, we know from history that she was like, and, you know, her relationship with men in it, and how she sees men treating women. And, you know, obviously she was a virgin queen, she never married, and I feel like there was some little bits in this book that kind of, you know, clicked all that together, and kind of, you know, be like, oh well, you know, it would make sense that she didn't marry because she had to witness all of this, or she had to experience this. And it's just really, really good. It's been a while since I read it, so I actually can't say too much about it because I don't remember all the details, but all I remember is that I did really enjoy it. It was one of those books that, you know, isn't the norm, so it's nice to read something a little bit differently, and I would suggest people reading it, especially if they like a bit of murder mystery and if they like historical novels. The next book I'm going to talk about is a really, really good one. It's just hit me right in the feels, and it was Still Alice by Genova. This is a book about a woman in her 50s who's suffering from early onset Alzheimer's disease, and the book is told from her point of view, so you get a really unique look at, as the book goes on and as her disease progresses, there's times where she repeats herself a lot in the book. It's that kind of narrative to the book that's really, really great. You are literally reading her memories being forgotten, and it's really hard. It's really kind of an emotional book, especially I think if you might know someone who has suffered from this disease, because it is told from her point of view. So it's kind of her fears about the disease, you know, her worries, what she's worried about, her fears of not only having the disease, but when she doesn't know what's going on, when she has forgotten certain things and she's in the middle of a situation that she doesn't know what to do, she doesn't know where she is. It's just a really, really great book. It's also a movie. It's also a really good movie, and I would suggest people read and watch the movie. And the last book I'm going to talk about for this one is The Boyne, Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. This is an absolute beautiful book. It is about a boy who moves to a house close to a concentration camp in Germany, and he ends up becoming friends with this boy that is living in the concentration camp called Shmuel. And they basically get this friendship. Bruno, who's the boy on the outside, doesn't really understand why Shmuel is inside this concentration camp. He doesn't understand what the concentration camp really is, what his family's connections to the concentration camp are, and it's basically one of these books that it's just there's so much innocence in it, in such a time where there was so many bad things happening, and these children who were involved in this, whether they liked it or not, and how, you know, lives were ruined because of it, and all this terrible, terrible tragedy and these terrible crimes committed against people. And you have these two little boys in the middle of it who just want to throw a ball over a fence, basically. And it's just one of those books that leaves you speechless. It's just absolutely beautiful. I really highly suggest people read this. If they don't read anything else on the list, check out The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, because it's truly an excellent piece of work. And it's a movie as well, so you can go check out the movie too. So that is all for my Not Another Love Story recommendations. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys want to check out some of the books. Please leave me any recommendations that you can in the comments below, or let me know what you think of my recommendations, and I will see you guys again next time.